This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
This is the Barbados Day afternoon news update for Monday, July 6. I'm Kmar Jordan. Thanks for joining us. We begin with happenings on the streets of Bridgetown, where public servants have heeded a call by the island's two main trade unions to come out in protest. Hundreds of workers are on the road at this hour, showing solidarity with dismissed counterparts from the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation, the BIDC, who were forced to retire early. Our Emmanuel Joseph is on the scene and has this full report.
The demonstration moved off from Queen's Park just after 9:30 this morning. Police estimated the initial numbers to be about 1,500. Then on Princess Alice Highway, that was put at about 2,000. By the time the protesters had reached the lower Calma Rock, the demonstrators had increased to about 3,500. Singing Solidarity Forever and We Shall Overcome, the placard-bearing protesters also chanted frequently, "Enough is enough." Some placards read, "Today it's me, tomorrow it's you. The government has lost credibility and respect workers' rights." As the procession wormed its way along the city streets, workers from various businesses along the route could be seen standing on the outside or watching on or cheering the protesters. We saw workers representing the Sanitation Service Authority, the National Assistance Board, Customs and Excise, Transport Authority, Nurses Association, the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, the National Conservation Commission, and other workers in the public sector. Also in the march were members of the Barbados Association of Retired Persons, some of whom, although only able to limp along, still made the journey that ended at the NUPW headquarters on Dalkeith just after noon. We also saw the president of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Redmond, president of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Pedro Shepherd, the head of the Unity Union, Caswell Franklin, opposition leader Mia Motley, and other members of the opposition, the General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Tony Moore, who linked hands with her counterparts up front of the procession. When the demonstrators reached the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation offices near the Bridgetown port, the marchers paused. That's because those workers are the same workers for whom they are marching today.
We want justice. We want consultation. The trade union movement is not against consultation. Too often we are left to feel like the low voice in the wilderness among the partners, calling for consultation. We have government refusing to consult. We have the private sector refusing to consult. But when it is convenient, partnership is the way forward.
The Barbados Workers Union General Secretary also said if the matter was not resolved in short time, the Barbados Workers Union will be forced to call out the Transport Board, the Barbados Water Authority, and the ports of entry. At this moment, the marchers are at the Dalkeith Road headquarters of the National Union of Public Workers, where they are being addressed by the various union leaders. From the NUPW headquarters, Emmanuel Joseph for Barbados Today.
Thanks, Emmanuel. Well, Barbadians in the streets expressed strong support for the action. Some told Barbados Today they're simply fed up.
I agree with the march.
Why?
Should march every since.
Why?
Because this government won't going out.
Okay.
I think the march is justifiable because somebody got to stand up to these people. These people been victimizing and unfair people for a while, and somebody has to stand up to them. I am prepared to stand up.
31st of May last year, 2014, is the last day I work at BADMC, convenience store at Granley Adams Airport, and I haven't received my monies as yet for 34 years.
I think the march is real, the work march. Things you get it up in this place. And if you go march now, you march and you got real because I like that way come out. As 85 now. And that Christmas time may be 86, but I support good things.
Meantime, the Barbados Consumers Research Organization is backing the union's call-out. In a statement, Director General of the group, Malcolm Gibbs-Tate, says they have no alternative but to endorse the action. He argues that in today's modern world, discrimination in all forms is outlawed, and therefore to discriminate on the basis of one's age, especially when there's a legal rationale, is ridiculous. Mr. Gibbs-Tate also refers to changes to the Pensions Act in 2005, which extend the pension age to 66.5 years old to ensure the pension fund remains viable. Well, the action has not escaped the eyes of the Labour Minister, Dr. Esther Bayer. She's calling on trade unions to come back to the bargaining table. She spoke to Barbados Today's Marlon Madden on the sidelines of the opening ceremony of an occupational health and safety workshop.
As I said, I fully respect the workers' right to protest and for what they think is fair and just, but my position is that they have not exhausted the levels of consultation that are available to them. My office has indicated its willingness to be involved. Nobody has approached my office, the Labour Department, the Chief Labour Officer, anything like that. So I really cannot see any justification for even escalating it further by any involvement of other parties without the proper consultation. To me, this strike is just, I don't know, is it to prove that we can strike? But that is enshrined in the law. You can strike.
And even as public workers hit the streets, there's a warning that more government workers could soon be on the breadline. General Secretary of the Barbados Labour Party, Dr. Jerome Walcott, told a St. George North Party branch meeting the government's current widening deficit will force it to retrench more workers as a cost-saving measure. He recalled the layoffs of 2014 and says terminations for this year have already started.
And so we have a situation where a government that promised that persons would not be sent home is, even after the 3,000 of last year, is going to be faced with having to send home many more this year. And it has started. The Barbados Tourism Authority, they said, has been reorganized. Persons went home. They might have the BIDC, which is currently on everyone's radar. But don't rest. The Minister of Finance has spoken repeatedly in the government about the consolidation of statutory boards. So in terms of the UDC and the RDC, and Dermot, you would know about this, there's supposed to be consolidation. They're not going to keep all the staff. People will have to go home. The sports one, National Sports Council, the gymnasium, COMI, they have to be consolidated. People will have to be sent home. So with all of the sacrifices and all of the so-called transparency and good governance, a government is still faced with this deficit and still has to send home people.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
BT Grapova Superstar. BT Grapova Superstar. How was song bad? How was song?
Wonderful. Actually, you can enter that in the competition.
So I ain't sound bad?
No.
Oh my.
Get a video and we go clear.
A video?
Yes, a video.
How long the video gonna be?
2 minutes.
Not 5, not 6?
No, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, that's all you need.
So wait, you and the fellas like you that just do this thing every year when it ain't already?
Well, I don't know with them, but it's spontaneous, you know?
Well, what is this for you? But that means I can try to submit mine, and the judging starts at 6, but the deadline is the 5th at 4:30.
And you need to get it in.
Get it in. Look at the screen there, look. That is where you could enter because
right there.
BT Grapova Superstar. BT Grapova Superstar.
I like that. You have a chance to win this competition.
Against you?
I spontaneous.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
For the news this Monday, Ghana's President David Granger says his country's territorial dispute is not simply a national issue, but a Caribbean one. Following the 36th CARICOM Heads of Government Conference, the president held a whistle-stop meeting with Guyanese living in Barbados, where he told them that the Caribbean is fully behind his government on the matter.
This is an important element of our economy and we cannot let it go. And let me say this, the Barbadian government is 100% behind Guyana. In unity there is strength. And we've received assurances from all of the members of the Caribbean community. This is not one line. This is not a matter of yes, we support Guyana. Venezuela, this time has gone too far. They have offended Trinidad, they've offended Barbados, they've offended Grenada, they've offended Guyana, they've offended Suriname. If you see this line, if you see how they draw this line, they've offended everybody. So, this heads of government meeting was particularly concerned with the threat to the Caribbean of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
On the international scene, 2 bomb attacks on the central Nigerian city of Jos have left at least 44 people dead. A restaurant and a mosque were targeted last Sunday night. According to Nigeria's National Security Management Agency, NEMA, of the 44 dead, 23 were killed at the restaurant and 21 at the mosque. No group has claimed responsibility, but the authorities are pointing the fingers at the militant group Boko Haram. The blasts are the latest in a deadly series of attacks in recent days, which have seen more than 200 people killed. And on that very sad note, we wrap our Barbados Day afternoon update. We'll be back again this evening. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper or email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us if you're moving around Barbados today on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or via Screenplay in a supermarket or a gas station near you. Also tune in to Channel 101, that's on Lime TV, for all the very latest news and sports. It's also Mix 96.9 FM for all the very latest. I'm Kamar Jordan. Continue to enjoy your day and see you again this afternoon.